What would be your Tuesday tips?
Okay.
JPP, learning with JPP. Yeah, you know me. What would be your Tuesday tips for meaningfully thanking event volunteers to keep them engaged in that year-round cycle that we talk about in the rest of this priceless advice?
Yeah. So I think at minimum, you need to say thank you when the volunteer finishes their shift at the event, right? And hopefully, someone's been seeing what they're doing, seeing them interact with people or whatever it was. Take a little nugget, right? Like, thank you so much for, not just generic, right? Um, Thank them for their time, right? Include them in whatever celebration there is of the event. So maybe there is, a live performance that all the participants get to see. That's not the time to bring everybody into the back room and say, okay, and these are the things you need to get done. And now we're going to go and clean up while everybody's having a good time. No, they also deserve to have a good time.
Right.
Um, and then say thank you again in an email. Say thank you again. And then in a separate email, because your thank you email should never have an ask.
Yeah.
You should never thank and ask at the same time, whether that's for money or for time. You
Hmm.
send a thank you email, and then you can say, we will send a survey shortly to get feedback about your experience, right? And then send the feedback survey. And in that feedback survey, say, if you prefer to give your feedback another way, call us, email us, whatever it is, right? Because not everybody likes a feedback survey. Make that survey short. And just again, shameless plug, I offer a workshop on survey design for volunteers. So if you want to book me, call me up. Um, get that survey out, and then like, get them to save the date for next year. Tell a story of success. Tell them the impact that they made. So if it was a fundraising event, right, once you have those final numbers in, this is how much money we raised, this is how many people were coming to the event. Oh, check out this clip from the media of when we were featured, right? Or like whatever it is. It could be a clip, it could be a newspaper article, whatever it is. It's like, hey, you were part of this, right? And encourage them to stay in touch. Don't just automatically subscribe them to your newsletter
So
because they've
gross. So
given that,
icky. Yeah.
like,
I'm
say,
giving
we'd
consent.
love to stay in touch, make it easy for them to stay in touch and click, right? But don't just automatically add them. And yeah, like, when it's time to get started for next year, go to them first. It's like,
Yes.
we haven't opened up volunteer registration for the event. It will open on this day to the public, but we wanted to come to you first. And if you're interested in a leadership role, these are the ones we think would be a good fit, right? Like, really having that conversation, right? And those folks who are really superstars day of, that the staff see, or the volunteers are really saying, like, oh, Dana, she was my team leader, she helped me out so much. Or like, I was partnered with Dana along the route, and like, I had so many questions because it's my first year and she was so helpful. Like, schedule a meeting with them. Schedule a meeting with them on the phone or in Zoom, half an hour, 15 minutes, just to say thank you. Don't make the ask, just say thank you. Hey, Jim told me, Dana, that when you were handing out water together, you told them so much about the organization. And when you were about to run out of water, you were like, oh, I'm on it. I've done this before. This is how we're going to communicate. Like, that was so helpful, Dana. You're amazing. We're so happy and we're so lucky to have you as part of the team. Have that conversation. So, yes, it's an event with dozens or hundreds or maybe even sometimes thousands of volunteers. but you can still have those one-on-one connections with people, and you should, especially if they have been identified as superstars. So those are my tips, my Tuesday tips. Yeah,
I love those Tuesday tips.
thanks so much, Dana. It's always good to chat with you.